December, that means for me that it is time to film my beauty inventory videos. And I realized as I was starting to sort through things and just kind of making sure I knew where most things, if not everything, was, um, that there were some things I could get rid of. So we have a bin to go through today. I'll let you know my thoughts, why I'm getting rid of things, and I mean, it's a declutter video. You've seen these before. So let's start out actually with an item that probably wouldn't have made it into this video, except I happened to burn it the day that I was pulling all these other things out. This is a candle, and it is from Opal House. This is their Oasis Palm candle. Let me see if I can find the gator. There he is. I think he's just stinking adorable. But within like 3 minutes of me lighting this, even though I was spending most of my time in another room, I'd lit this in the bathroom and I was, just kind of tidying up on the floor, and my exposed skin itched so badly. I've not had that issue with an Opal House candle before. I have, however, had it with a Glade scented plug-in. So I don't know what on earth is in this thing, but it needs to not be in my house anymore. And honestly, I'm not going to give it to anyone that I know because they might burn it in their house and I might come over, and it would just be an unpleasant experience for everybody. Okay, I think everything else is like more traditionally beauty supplies. So I have two palettes here to talk about. The first is the Teddy Girl palette from Butter London. I got this probably like a year and a half ago from FabFitFun. I was supposed to get an Hourglass blush, I think, and instead they sent this, and we've just never gotten along that well. It's not a bad palette, but it's not an interesting palette. It's one of those sort of modern Renaissance-y color schemes. It goes a little bit into like a terracotta orange, a little bit into a reddish violet. It's not interesting. It's nothing special to me. I'm just not super into it. I might try to see if I can depot these two shades. Not because they're super great, but just because these really light matte tones do tend to be shades that I actually go through in other palettes, so it might be nice to have them to supplement. Again, like I said, not a bad palette, and I appreciate that they have two different really light matte shades because that's something a lot of palettes just don't have at all, but I'm not excited by it. I only have ever used this when I'm forcing myself to use it, so it can go. The next palette is within the Miss Bliss packaging from ColourPop, but it's actually an assortment of different smaller ColourPop shadows that I wanted to get rid of. These are some pressed glitters. We have this blue up here that is just so messy to work with. We have a couple shades that are that matte with glitter formula that they do, which I don't actually mind, but in these two particular colors don't really do anything for me. So I decided that I just wanted to collapse my ColourPop collection a little bit, get rid of one piece of packaging and some shadows that I didn't love, so that every time I reach into a ColourPop palette, that there's 9 shades that I actually like. So this is another one that is going. I have 2 fragrances. The first one is just getting up there in age. This is from Tokyo Milk. It's the Neptune and the Mermaid scent, 20,000 Flowers Under the Sea. I think Neptune and the Mermaid is like their subline, and 20,000 Flowers Under the Sea is the scent name. So this has turned really yellow, and it smells more like alcohol than it did when I first got it. I might end up dumping the liquid and keeping the bottle because I really do love the little octopus illustration that's currently really hard to see through the yellow liquid. So I might be keeping the bottle, but the fragrance can go. It is past its prime. I haven't had that for super long. I would say I've probably had it for 2.5 years, which I know is probably beyond the time that the brand would tell you to keep fragrance, but as long as it's in a relatively cool, somewhat dark place, probably not a big deal. However, I got it through Ipsy, so I imagine it was not exactly a new product when I received it. It might be a little bit more up there in age than me having it for 2.5 years would suggest. The other fragrance is just the worst. I hate this thing. This is Chasing Fireflies from Bath and Body Works. Now, this is practically new. I've sprayed it like twice. To me, this smells like standing next to someone at like a barbecue or an outdoor event that has sprayed bug spray. That's all I can smell. So, no, not a fan. I will offer this to, my mom and my sister if they happen to like it, but it is not for me. I really should have returned this, and I fully meant to. It just sat on my counter for months because I didn't end up going to Bath and Body Works because I knew if I went in, I wasn't going to just process my return and leave. I was going to spend more than my return on things I didn't need. So hopefully my mom or my sister likes this, and then it can be their problem. Oh, this next product I really don't like. I don't understand the point of this at all. This is from EOS. It's their Shea Better Shave Cream. I've tried to use this, and I mean, it's usable, but it's like shaving with soap, except it's soap that clogs my drain a little bit. This does not go down the drain nicely, and it doesn't foam up. It's not like what I generally associate with a shaving cream. So, not sure what the point of this was. It smelled fine. I mean, it's their oatmeal scent, so it's not going to be super strongly scented. No, I didn't like this at all. I am not opposed to actual shaving cream, like the kind that comes in a can and foams up. Like, if I'm going to effectively shave with something that's the consistency of shower gel, I'm just gonna shave with shower gel and have one less container in my shower and be able to choose a scent that I actually really like. So that is leaving. All of these are leaving, but I'm still gonna probably say it over and over again. This has just been in my shower for too long. It's to the point where it's kind of gross to think about using. This is the Frank Body Glow Mask. I somehow got it into my head that this was intended to be used in the shower, but it says on the back that I'm supposed to keep it in a cool, dry place, which is, the opposite of the shower. So probably on me that it ended up getting kind of gross. I did get through a good chunk of this though. This is a 2.7 ounce size, and I would say I'm about down here, so I maybe used an ounce of it. For a regular mask, I think that's actually pretty good, but it's been in there for too long. It's gotten gross. Time to move on. I don't know why I didn't use this. This is from Neogen Dermology. It's an eye cream, and I'm not good about using eye cream. I have, I think, like 4 eye products, which is too many for me because it's not a product I use consistently. And this was the one that I liked the least of the ones that I had and had tried. So I decided to get rid of this one because I didn't need all of them, and I thought that one was probably the oldest of the bunch that I had. Next we have another product that's just older. This is the Sunbum Face Mist. I do like this, or I did like this, because I could kind of spray it on my hand and then press it onto my face to reapply sunscreen throughout the day. I found that it didn't disturb my makeup too much. I mean, it wasn't good on top of makeup, but it was better than trying to rub in like a more liquid or cream sunscreen would have been. This expires in January. It's December as I'm filming this. I don't think I'm going to get significant use on this before January. And sunscreen is the one product that I don't use after expiration. So that's the end of the non-makeup. Now moving on to makeup, I have one primer This is from e.l.f. It's their Tone Adjusting Face Primer, and this is supposed to be redness correcting, and it is so green. It's like this murky swamp water green. And I feel like it sometimes leaves a little bit of a green cast on my skin rather than doing a great job of covering any redness. It's looking really good on my hand right now, but I know that when I put this on my face, I don't like it. Additionally, it has that sort of slippery, like silicone feeling to it, which also isn't my favorite. So I've had it for at least a year, maybe closer to 2. I haven't gotten good use out of it. It's time to move on. Another primer. This is just an old product. This is from NYX. It is their glitter primer. I like this product a lot. I'm actually going to repurchase this, probably. But this is almost 4 years old, I think. It's over 3 years old, I'm sure. And I'm not super confident putting something that's 3 years old that close to my eyes. I don't think it's gone bad. I mean, I haven't noticed any changes with the product, but putting anything that's over 3 years old that close to my eyes, especially when I think this has a 6-month recommended expiration, so it can go. I can get a new $6 replacement. Okay, I have 2 face products. First, we have this little duo from e.l.f. It is in Cantaloupe, I believe. I don't know where it says it on this. Yes, it's in Cantaloupe. This is one of their bite-size face duos. This is a very yellowy orange, and on my skin, this blush shade looks just so yellow. It really does not mesh well with my coloring at all. And I thought at first that kind of mustard color that this ends up showing up on me would be kind of interesting, kind of artsy, and I don't love it. So that's not a selling point for me. This highlighter is nice, but I feel like I have things that are close enough to it in other products. So I figured this can move on. Same thing goes for this Revolution product. This is their highlighter reloaded in Set the Tone. And it is a white highlighter, which I think is amazing. I really do like how icy this is. However, it has quite a bit of glitter in it. And I don't like that on my skin. I'm not exactly opposed. Well, that looks really pretty now I'm swatching it. Like, yeah, there's glitter in it, but you know what? This might actually be staying. Never mind, I'll give it another try, and if I still don't like it, I'll get rid of it at a later date. Who cares? I was really happy though when I saw that they had a white highlighter, because that's just not a color that you see super often, and I wanted to use this as a mixer with some other highlights that I had that were just a little bit too deep. I haven't ended up really using it that way. I've used it on its own a few times. I think this could also be a really nice eyeshadow. Yeah, I'm not getting rid of this. Never mind. Let's move on to lip products. First, we have one that I think might have gone bad on me. This is Meditate. It's one of the Tarte C H2O balms. And I'm really disappointed because I think I used this like once. But it has this sort of gray film all over it. It could be wax bloom, but I'm not sure, and this is old, so we're not risking it. This Maybelline lip vinyl. Now, I don't dislike this product. I actually got pretty decent use out of it when I first got it. This is in the shade Koi. These are interesting. They're a shiny, long wear liquid lipstick. I just find that these are pretty sticky, and I haven't been quite as willing to deal with that lately. It does smell really good. I really like the scent that Maybelline uses in a lot of their lip products. It's like a pretty vanilla cupcake scent. Anyway, I just haven't been using this for the last year. I think the only time that I've used this is when I pulled it out and told myself I was going to use it. So it can leave. We have another liquid lip. This one's from Farrah, and it is in the shade Cocoa. It is a deep reddish orange brown shade, sort of right where all of those colors mix. It's pretty, it's nice for fall. It's a type of color that I like to wear, but I like to wear it in a bullet lipstick. Matte liquid lipsticks aren't really my thing, and if I'm going to go for a matte liquid lipstick, it's going to be because that type of color, maybe it's like a really super bold red or a really deep color, isn't conducive to a bullet lipstick format. Maybe it's too messy, maybe it's a little too difficult to work with and get a really sharp line with that kind of color. This isn't it, so that's leaving as well. I have this Misho Beauty lipstick. This is a type of color that I used to be a really big fan of. It's sort of a gray toned mauve. In college, this was my jam. I loved this kind of color. I loved how it was sort of a dead lips look on me. Now I'm just not as into it, and I had this in a project. I had this in my 30 by 30 project pan to finish, and I had it out next to my desk, and I just never used it because I never loved how it looked on me. I didn't end up using it very much at all, especially considering that it was a project pan to finish. I used like a couple millimeters of the product, but yeah, unsuccessful project pan, but it is leaving my stash, so maybe that's a success in itself. This NARS lipstick, this is in Blonde Venus. The packaging on this feels very like BoxyCharm quality. I wouldn't be surprised if NARS made this lipstick specifically for one of the boxes. I think it was BoxyCharm. I think I bought it in one of their flash sales. Like, it's that soft feel packaging, but it doesn't quite close right all of the time. So that's different, not what I've experienced with other NARS products that I've purchased. And there's just a lot that's not ideal about this lipstick. This sort of orangey tone does nothing for me. It's definitely a color that I end up wanting to mix with a gloss or a lip liner every time I use it. I also find that this can look a little bit dry on the lips. It's weird. It doesn't feel super matte or super drying when I'm applying it to my hand, but on the lips, it just doesn't do me any favors. And the next lipstick is like probably the worst beauty purchase that I made in 2023, with the exception of that little perfume we talked about earlier. This is from Maybelline. It's their Ultimate lipstick in More Mocha. And you know how we were talking about how that orangey tone does nothing for me? This is like the sister of that NARS lipstick, in that it has that same orangey tone to it, but now we mix it with brown, make it deeper, and make it more dry. No, this looks terrible on me. I have tried. I've worn this a few different times. I've mixed it with different products. It's not for me. I really don't like this. All right, So that is everything that I am decluttering this time around, with one item that has been saved. I'm looking forward to trying this again. I'll give it a go in the next couple of days, and if I don't love it, I will just toss it, and that saga can be over. Thanks for watching. I really hope you enjoyed today's video. Please consider liking and subscribing if you did, and I hope I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys!